A-bike upper steering joint replacement. Number of tools required for this operation: adjustable spanner, 13mm, 10mm spanners, 8mm spanner. Begin by removing the brake band clamp nut to release the brake band cable on the front wheel. As this is slackened off and removed, the crimped on cable end protector can be removed with a pair of pliers. Then with a 13mm spanner, release the front wheel axle nut. And withdraw the front axle bolt. 2 aluminium spacers will also come out. The wheel can then be manoeuvred past the brake band and removed. Then with a 3mm hexagonal head wrench or Allen key, remove all 6 fasteners in the front fork. The front fork can then be opened up and the right hand half removed. The left hand can then be removed, sliding it off the brake cable. Then to remove the lower steering joint, fold the cross piece and slide the lower steering joint off the front lower tube. Next, to remove the front lower tube, the front quick release clamp must be removed. Begin by removing the quick release lever and withdraw the bolt. Then spread the quick release lever and slide away from the lower tube. 2 plastic inserts can then be removed, the quick release buttons pressed and the lower tube removed. 2 further liners will be exposed. These are normally glued to the front upper tube and these can be prized off. Then the 2 buttons and the quick release spring can be withdrawn. Finally, remove the clamp from the upper tube. Next, remove the main hinge pin, which secures the rear leg using 2 3mm hexagonal head wrenches. In this operation, it does not matter which of the two fasteners comes undone because it's a pivot through the tube. As soon as one fastener and washer is removed, the entire pin can be withdrawn with the other fastener still in place. The rear leg is now loose from the upper steering joint. The next stage is to withdraw the pin that locks the upper bearings in position. This is a 10mm diameter tube that can be prised out of position using a screwdriver, or a suitable tool can be made using a 9.8mm diameter piece of steel. Then release the cable tie securing the rear brake cable to the upper steering joint. And the upper steering joint can be slid off the upper tube. Inside the upper steering joint are two bearings and a bearing locator. The bearing locator will drop out, and then the two bearings can be removed, but always remove the small bearing first, which makes room for the second longer bearing to be removed. Replacement of the upper steering joint. First, insert the longer of the two steering bearings. These are upper steering bearings, and the large diameter part means that they have to be inserted from the inside. So slide the long bearing into position and then maneuver it until it's flush on the top surface. Follow the same procedure for the shorter lower bearing. Again, the bearing surfaces will be flush. And then drop in the bearing locator. The bearing locator can go either way up. Then with the upper steering joint the correct way up, which is with the long bearing uppermost, slide it onto the upper tube. And then rotate it at the top of the upper tube until the hole in the bearing locator and the hole in the upper tube align. Once aligned, insert the 10mm pin. This can be tapped into position and then needs to be sunk below the surface. so that the steering joint is completely free to rotate on the upper tube. Then the main hinge pin can be reinserted. It's very important that any fastener that was removed before it's inserted back into the pin has to have an anti-vibration thread lock, liquid or compound, added to it to stop it coming out under normal vibration. Final tightening torques are given in the user manual. Next stage is to refit the front quick release clamp. It's important to ensure that this is both the right way up and that the clamp is pointing in the correct orientation. This should be matched to the rear clamp.